Hey, y'all. So Patrice wants us to all mute. She's gonna get started. Okay. So let's all mute so she can do her thing. Yeah, just push the little.
We can't say hi first.
Push them. No.
Right? Hi, everybody. Mute.
Oh, press the mic first. Okay.
Yeah.
I think you did say hi. What's up, family? How are you all? I'm so glad to see all these beautiful faces on my little screen. We talk a lot of us talk a lot all the time, but we want to open up this, our love thing to the rest of the world. So, hey world, this is our family that we call The Color Purple. We are the original Broadway cast of the revival that opened on Broadway in 2015. We did some things, we learned some things, we changed a lot of things. Our lives were forever changed. We won some awards, and it has truly been the gift that has continued to give. We often say, well, actually, Oprah told us that everything purple is divine. And I'm sure we'll talk about our experiences with her and so many more, but it has truly just been a blessing for all of our lives. So that's what we're here for today. We are going to just share a lot about our experiences on stage, off stage, performing at things like at The View and Stephen Colbert and the Tony Awards and the moments that, really changed our lives. This show continues to mean a lot to all of us, but what I think means the most is that it still affects people so much. Like today, Carla posted some video clips, and then we all piggybacked and posted some, and it's just so special to see how this show and hear how this show has changed people's lives. We got to see it happen in front of us all the time, but to know that it's still changing people's lives almost 6 years later is just truly, truly a blessing. So, again, this is the original Broadway revival cast of The Color Purple. We were the ones with the chairs. All those chairs on the wall. And it started in 2015, in December of 2015, and we closed in January of 2017 at the Bernard B. Jacobs Theater. And it was a good old time. So, guys, pull down to refresh, and it should give us everybody that's up top, all of our Color Purple family, and then we'll go straight across from me. I'll talk about who I played, and you guys can say whatever you want about yourself and your character, and then we'll get started with some questions. We've got questions from some beautiful fans of our show, and just some other kind of random thoughts that we've had to talk about tonight. So I'm Patrice Covington. I played Squeak, and that's me. All right, who's next?
Hello, my name is Antoine L. Smith. I played the role of Grady and also had the absolute pleasure of understudying Harpo.
Hey, everybody. I'm Carla. I played Olivia, also understudied a church lady. I like to call it the leading church lady. And then I also covered Sophia and Shug. And by the end of the run, I was the opening church lady, and went on to do the national tour as Shug Avery.
Hey, everybody. It's Ange. I was a swing in the Broadway company for the church ladies, and I also went on to the national tour where Carla named it the leading church lady, and I also understudied Sophia.
Hey everybody, I'm Carrie Compare. I was in the show as a church lady, understudied Sophia, and actually when Danielle left, I took over Sophia and also did Sophia on the national tour.
Hi family, my name is Joaquina Calucango and I played Nettie.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I am Jamaris. I was actually a swing on Broadway covering most of the male tracks and sometimes the female track. And I went on to the national tour as Harpo.
Hi, I'm Rima Webb, and I played one of the church ladies and understudied Shug Avery.
I love you.
Okay.
I supposed to follow that? Anyway, hi everybody. My name is Dwayne Clark. It was a pleasure to be a part of The Color Purple, and I played the guard.
Hey everybody, I'm Phoenix Best, and I was a swing on the show. I understudied Olivia, Squeak, and the Church Ladies.
What's up, everybody? My name is Grayson Kingsbury. I had the absolute pleasure of performing in The Color Purple once again in this revival. I played Adam, and I also played Buster, and I was also the dance captain of the show. So I did a lot of rehearsals with everybody.
Hey y'all, my name is Adriana Hicks, and I was a swing in The Color Purple revival, and later took over for Celie on the national tour.
Hey everybody, this is Kevin Morrow. I played Paul and had the honor of covering Mr. as well, and it's so great to see my fam again. I've missed y'all horribly.
Hey, this is Kyle Scatliff. I played Harpo. Happy to be here. Happy to hear all these beautiful voices again.
Hey, my name is Bree Jackson. I was a church lady, and I understudied Celie.
Hey, that's our family that's up here right now. I know some people will be coming in and out, so we might have more people coming in, but this is the fam for now. So also, before we even really jump in this thing, got to take a minute to acknowledge the legendary woman, the queen, royalty, thespian, giver of all things of fantastic artistry, Cicely Tyson. Bless her. God, thank you for her presence on this earth and what she taught all of us. And I hope that I can still be doing this thing at 96 years old and looking 45. Okay?
Seriously.
And then also, we want to acknowledge our beloved Lawrence Clayton, who played the preacher in the show, who had the most buttery tones and the most magnificent, joyful, jubilant spirit, who died just recently. So much love to his family, love and light for that. And then also we lost Allie Willis on Christmas Eve. This feel like church when we like going over the people that's been gone on, but okay.
Stay on.
Yeah. We're thinking about them.
Yes, Lawrence, and then also Allie. Allie was she created the music for the show. You know Allie, for those of you listening, don't know Allie, you actually do. She wrote September from Earth, Wind, and Fire. She wrote Boogie Wonderland, the Friends theme song, among many, many, many other songs and soundtracks from like Beverly Hills Cop, and The Color Purple. And she was our friend. Like, she was the coolest, craziest white lady. She was just so amazing. She smoked a lot of weed, and she had a lot of fun. She was my favorite, and I miss her dearly all the time.
Yes. Patrice.
She did.
Yes.
She was that's my Detroit sister.
So, what'd you say?
No, I was just saying that was my Detroit sister. She
Oh
went
yeah.
to high school right around the same time as my dad. Same high school.
So, guys, I got the first question, and anybody who wants to join in, you guys can go ahead. This is just to get us a little bit started. So, I want to know how, the show has changed our lives in so many ways. But if you can zero in on one thing that how the show really changed your life, and then what it meant to be a part of this show as a Black actor. Whoever wants to go first.
Can I jump in real quick? It's great.
Yeah, go ahead, Grace Ann.
Hey, everybody. This is what I love about this show, that it continues to bring people together like we're doing right now, beyond the cast, the people who love the show. I had the unique opportunity of being in both productions of this company, of this amazing show. What this show changed about me and my life was my connection, my relationship with God. That is the most profound thing that it has done for me in my life, more than, I'm getting emotional just thinking about it. It really made me reevaluate and question and challenge my belief, my relationship, like I said, with God. The first lyric that Suge sings to Celie is God is inside you and everything else. So that was in and of itself so profound to me. So, and the beautiful people people that are now family to me, truly, 10 years later, and even 6, 7 years later, 5 years later for us, I consider these people family and friends, close friends. So this show has enriched my spirituality, and it has enriched my relationships with the people on this earth and in my community. So I just wanted to jump in and say that, and I love everybody so much.
Love you too, Grace. I just want to say real quickly, it's Carrie. I just want to say real quickly, I don't think I personally had a concept of what it was going to really be like, because the first time when John Doyle, our director, was like, we're going to use sheets and chairs and a Bible and maybe, a fan or something to tell the story. All I knew of The Color Purple really was the movie, and I knew how iconic it was. So I'm like, how are we supposed to translate that to our version on stage with just some chairs and some sheets and some African fabric or whatever? And to tell you that, once we got started and we were in previews and hearing people's feedback and the fans that would meet us at the door, I mean, literally, like, tears in their eyes because they were so touched and so moved by what they saw on stage. That is what began to be life-changing for me, because I realized that what we were doing, it was, not to get all deep, but what it really was ministering to people and meeting them where they were in their lives, using the simplest things. And isn't that how God works? You know what I mean? Isn't that how he moves? And using the simple things. I'm not trying to get deep. The Bible says that he'll use the simple things to confine the wise, and so how he'll use the simplest things to touch our hearts, to turn our lives around, to open our eyes up to new things. And just like Grace saying, I'm so glad that I was able to work with this particular group of people, because, like, we really became family. We fussed, we fought, we ate a lot. We went on a lot of diets together, but like, it was a family. It was a real family, and so those were the parts for me that were the beginning stages of, like, the changes that this work was having in my own personal life.
Yeah, for me, it changed me. Again, this is Jay. It changed me as well. I came from a show that was on Broadway that I didn't feel like the role that I was playing was important, and or the story that I was telling was important. And for me to come out of that into a show where every time I got on stage, and it didn't matter what role I was playing as a swing, each role I felt connected to, I felt like it was impactful. And then to see the audience being changed, but not only that, but to also look to my right and look to my left every night, like look at Patrice, and Patrice is bawling, or look at Grace Ann, and Grace Ann is bawling. Hello?
I wasn't crying.
I know I was.
And then
I was.
To see the people on stage also being, impacted in such a way by this story, it really just showed me the power of the creativity that God had given me and what it was really meant to be used for. And so for every show after that, it was like, this is where I'm, performing from. It taught me where to perform from.
For me, this show was really a turning point for me, because I was, one of the last ones to join the company, and it made me feel like I could do anything. A lot of people probably here listening, and even some of us on the stage, you come to New York and you chase this Broadway thing, and you don't know you look at it a certain way and you think it's a certain way, and and then you've been at it for so long and all your friends are booking Broadway shows and you haven't, or whatever, you just get close or whatever. And so this was a total God thing for me, and to walk into a family that was already established and had all of their ties and all of their things. I felt like they made me feel like I had been there since the beginning. I joke all the time, I don't go here and all of that silly stuff, because I was a vacation swing, so I was in and out a lot. But I will never forget my first night going on in the show and how they just wrapped their arms around me. Those that knew me outside of theater, those who didn't know me from Adam's House Cat, and it was just an overwhelming feeling. And it assured me that you can have a family in a show, and that family unit can go on years after that show closes. So it just changed my whole view of family, and it was a huge turning point for me in my career, because it made me feel like I could do it, and my friends were there to support me in doing that.
Here's another question, guys, and I'll answer it first. I want to know what you guys thought when you first booked the show, or maybe even when you first heard that it was going to be happening. Like, were you jumping up and down to be doing it? Were you excited to audition? But my story, and y'all know I keep it 100. Okay, when I did want to be in the show, I remember when it got announced that it was going to be happening and everything, and I was like, oh God, I'm gonna claim this. Y'all know I'm a manifester. So I definitely pushed towards wanting to be in it. But then, like, as it started to come out, like, that it was going to be this scaled down version, and I also was like, why are they doing Color Purple again so soon? Because I felt like, Grace Ann's version had just kind of happened. I was like, this is going to be a flop. And who is this girl from England? What is this mess? I didn't think it was going to be a hit at all. I thought that we would be open for like 6 months and then close, and I was going to go get that Broadway credit, okay? I had no idea. And then when we were in rehearsal, he started snatching away all the props, and all we had was a Bible in a basket. I was like, surely we're going to close. What is this? But as time started to go on in rehearsal, and we had those moments of just so much emotion and transparency and things that are real life happening, on this stage, started to have like outer body experiences of things that happened in my life, and stuff was coming up that I didn't even remember as a kid and stuff like that. So for me, I did not think it was going to be a sensation, but then as it started to happen for me, I knew that it would be the most sensational thing I was ever a part of. What else y'all got for that?
I think all of us were so overwhelmed when he started taking the props and stuff away from us. We were like, wait a minute, what is this show going to be? I know I went home many of nights and called Deacon, who is Antoine. I would call him and be like, what are we going to do? We're going to close in 3 days if they don't give us this tambourine back. We need this tambourine. But, we were just overwhelmed. But if I can go back to the first question, I think it ties into this one. For me, it taught me that I don't need all the fluff, because my role was Olivia and she didn't even have a line, But I learned in this process that my presence holds weight. And so to be present and be a part of that, and to know that I'm working in the picture, I'm working in the puzzle, I'm a part of it, I'm a part of the heartbeat of this show. John also taught us that we didn't need all those things to make such a beautiful piece that spoke to so many people. It taught me to trust myself, and just trust the moment and trust the story. And we don't need all the fluff of all those different things. So I'm forever changed for that, because just being a part of it, period, I learned how to be present and to learn from my neighbor. And the whole experience, I can cry. When I booked it, oh my gosh, I was overwhelmed then. I'm still overwhelmed now. I feel like I'm about to cry right now. I love y'all to pieces. But when I booked it, I had met Antoine in the audition, and we walked in the room, and most people thought we knew each other for years. And I literally met him the summer before we started. But that's just how this I mean, I don't know, this show, that's what it did to us. It created us family. And I did cry. I was working a regional job, and I got the call in rehearsal that I booked. In fact, I was working such a regional job that I was in like Bufu city somewhere where I didn't get signal on my phone, so my agent couldn't call me. So she emailed me, and it just happened to come through. So I actually read that I got the job. So I cried tears, and I would usually call my mom, but my mom was no longer with me, and so I really boohooed and cried. But you guys stepped in, and this show stepped in and just embraced me and loved me through a very hard time in my life, and I will forever love this show and the people that are a part of it.
Yeah, I want to tag along with what Carla was saying as well. So, Kevin, you want to go?
I was gonna, but you go ahead, baby girl.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I wanted to tag on to what Carla was saying too, because for me, this show came about and I got the job during a huge transition in my life. I just transitioned from working overseas and came back for the purposes of being with my family, because they were both, my mom and my dad were very sick at that time. And the show presented itself as like a saving grace for me, because my dad had passed away right before we were getting ready to start rehearsals, and his funeral was on the very first day of the Color Purple rehearsal. So I missed that, but came into such warmth, and everyone was so welcoming. And when I look back over it now in hindsight, I just see how God's hand was on my life, and how in those moments of feeling grief, and then the next moment Oprah walking into the room, that was I mean, an emotional roller coaster to say the least. But to see how the hand of God being upon me in that way, and how he's so intentional and so aware of his plans for me and for us, and how the show just changed everyone's lives. I am uber grateful for that opportunity to sit back and also to take in the brilliance in the room, and the family. I mean, my God, to just have a welcoming all black cast. Can we just discuss that for like 2 seconds? Because I never had that in my life. Okay, never had that. Been in an all black cast before, and first time experiencing that, and that being my first Broadway show, and getting to just witness that and take notes, and then maybe I get to go on stage, maybe I get to perform, and the maybe turned into plenty of opportunities to step in whenever someone needed me to. So very thankful for that experience and opportunity. And I love every single one of you guys. Like, you all have a special place in my heart for that time. That was a truly monumental, it was a big time for me. So thanks, guys.
Can I jump in? Is that all right, everybody?
You good? I'm okay.
Okay, what I was going to say was, when I found out, I was sitting in a Waffle House in Montgomery, Alabama, getting ready to start rehearsal for my third time on doing Little Mermaid. I jumped up and down. I ordered another order of sausage. I remember that.
You better.
I did, baby girl, I did.
Love your country ass.
I was very, very happy. I didn't get to do the show the first time around, and so I was so thrilled to get this opportunity to come in and do this show. I want to jump back to what I got from the show. As everyone's been talking about, when John was taking all of our props and things away, what it did for me was it brought me back to the idea of when you're a kid, you don't have all of that, and you're doing make-believe. You believe hard enough, you can see that swimming pool out there. You can see the hill you're going to climb. You see all of that. We were living in all of that with no props. Nothing of that, none of that stuff around us. And the audience was feeling that energy from us going out to them. That's what I got from the show. It brought me back to what you don't need, because you have it all inside. You can create all of that from the energy you have. And jumping on to what Adriana said, again, this was not my first time in an all-black company, but it was the first time in a while. And the joy of having that next to me, in front of me, around me, supporting me, was something that I will always treasure. As most of you all know, Lawrence was my dressing room mate, and as I've always said, the best dressing room mate I've ever had and probably ever will have. He and I would sit there and talk about the joy of this particular show, what it was about working with an entirely black cast. the energy that this show was giving out to an audience, what we could see in the audience's faces transform from beginning to end. Men have been dragged to the theater by their wives, let's say, and we're sitting there in the front row all slumped over like, I don't want to be here, that give them that feeling. By the end of the show, they were weeping and bawling and carrying on. It's the kind of feeling that Lawrence and I were saying we hadn't had this kind of a feeling since, say, Dreamgirls, or in my case, say, doing Five Guys Named Mo as well, where it was a predominantly, if not all black cast, and the energy that we create giving to the audience and their response and taking that in is one of those things that I will always treasure. And I've been blessed enough to at least have it those 3 times in my life, but much more so here on Color Purple. And I thank you all for helping me have that feeling again. That's all I got to say.
Kevin, that's so beautiful. And I just want everybody up here to know, the listeners, the Dreamgirls and the Five Guys that he's talking about is not like one that was a few years before the Color Purple. He is talking about the one. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. You just had to put out there how old I am. Is that what you're trying to do?
No, I'm trying to tell these people that you are gold. Okay.
Okay. So I was the second oldest in the cast. What you trying to say?
Well, you look good,
Kevin, I bet you still got more six-pack than all of us anyway.
You know, COVID have happened. I just finished a root beer float, and I ain't lying.
So, I want to point some questions at some people who we haven't heard from yet. I want to talk to Jakina for a second. Jakina, on the, and those, I'm going to do this every once in a while too. Jakina, if you don't know, you're late. Okay, my sis has been in. Okay, get it together, Patrice. HBO with Courtney. What's the name of it, Jakina? Hit it right now, please.
Oh, shoot, Lovecraft.
I watched it every Sunday. I just couldn't get it. Y'all know I do a lot of things that make my memory go away. Lovecraft.
I want that to stop.
Tell the truth now. Tell the truth.
Y'all stop. Come on.
Lovecraft. She's about to be in Mahalia with her bestie. Like, I love that y'all are playing besties in real life on this movie. And then also she was just in One Night in Miami. Sis is booked, busy, and blessed. Okay.
Yeah.
Booked, busy, and Betty. Shabbat.
And she's the mama of Pharaoh. Hello.
Yeah, we had a baby.
Yes.
She was our pregnant Nettie.
That's right.
Oh, I remember the day, Joe, when you came in and told us.
All right, Patrice, get back to the phone.
Because Nettie was fast. But anyway, so
Wait,
what? About that day, that we were standing around the piano, and we probably had sang the Color Purple title song for, I don't know, it had to have been our 3rd or 4th time. Jason kept saying, again, one more time. And I know I started to wonder, like, well, what are we doing wrong? Because, we really just sang this song. And then all of a sudden, the queen busts through the door. Tell us about that moment for
now,
you.
Now, why you got to ask me this question?
Because I want you to talk about it.
Y'all, I'm trying to remember exactly where I was. Because I think we were all tired. And we're just trying to figure out notes at this time. And then she walked in. It was like the doors just open. And in walks this angel. I don't know. It just happened so fast. It was just like a swarm of like an energy ball just started coming at us. And we were like, what is happening? And there's Cameron Cruz and there's Oprah. And all I know is everybody started dropping like flies. Like we were all in full tears. I don't know what happened. It was just like, nobody could sing at that point. It was just all off key. It was great. I don't know.
Now wait a minute. We wasn't off key.
The lies you tell. Nobody was singing on not a nan note.
There's video
when she walked through. Okay. And it was all right because we all know who this woman was for us in all of our lives and what she represented and to sing that and have her walk in this room, it was just like, what is happening? What is life? This is Oprah. You know what I mean? And she's our producer. It was amazing. Yeah, I really can't remember a lot other than tears and shock, quite honestly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Can I say something?
Yes.
I know where I was standing, and it's a wonder that I have my right arm because Patrice Covington, our moderator for tonight, like took my arm off when Oprah walked in because I was like, "What is happening?" And my whole right side was numb because she was squeezing me so hard because Oprah had walked in the room, and I was like, "Sis, what's happening?" And listen, you owe me an arm.
I was trying to tell you to look alive, kid, because the queen is here and the camera crew is here as well. We have to pull. Okay. Yeah, that was such a beautiful moment. And let's also just not forget that she was in the original movie. Like, she's the reason why we love The Color Purple. One of the reasons, you know? So it was extremely special, and beautiful and dramatic and emotional. We all had, I guess this is what they call the Oprah effect, when she walks in and then you just get to crying for whatever reason. But also, this was the woman who we got to walk past as we got on stage to perform at the Tony Awards that year. Some of us got to, she touched us and was like, "Y'all better kill it," or whatever. She said something encouraging and beautiful and cool. And then, in this moment when she walked in, she also said to us how The Color Purple changed her life. And what she said was, it has been the gift that has continued to give, the gift that keeps on giving. She also said that everything purple is divine. And we know that anyway, but to hear her say it and put her meaning behind it was just so beautiful to me. And all of us, I live in LA, and when I came out here, I was waiting for no one to care that I was in The Color Purple. Like, I'm like, okay, it's a Broadway show, I did it, it's closed. People still care. I go into auditions and casting, people are like, "Oh my God, I saw y'all's version of The Color Purple. It was just it's the best show I've ever seen." People care so much about that show. And so that's why we're here, guys. For those of you just joining, this is the conversation with the original Broadway cast of the revival of The Color Purple that played on Broadway in 2015, closed in January of 17 with Danielle Brooks, Jennifer Hudson, Cynthia Erivo, Jennifer Holliday, and Heather Headley, and all of these beautiful faces that you see here on top of your Clubhouse screens tonight. I want to give the audience some opportunity to ask some questions. If you guys want to speak, if you want to ask anything in particular, please raise your hand. I got one. Let's see. And you can direct this to anybody that you like. Okay, Raina, this is our sis. What's up, Raina? How are you, lovey?
Hey.
Raina.
Hi, hey, everybody. I do not want to take up too much time because your fans are here. But I am just, this is so beautiful. Thank you guys for doing this. From an audience perspective, when I walked into y'all show, first of all, the energy in the energy in the audience, everyone was so excited. Like, we knew something magical was going to happen. And ushers were, hurriedly rushing us down. And I remember thinking, just like you guys, like, oh, this is really stripped down. Because the original Color Purple was my first Broadway show that I saw. It was the first Broadway show I'd ever seen. And so this was so special to me. So I came in and I'm like, oh, wow, this is really stripped down. I'm so excited. And just like you, Patrice, I was like, who is this chick from London? And I was just so excited. And y'all, I have never felt, it's been, I can count on one hand how many shows I've seen that left me with chills. I think I stood up after I'm here. Like, I don't stand up in theater. I have manners. I have sense. But y'all killed it. It was so magical. And your chemistry, the family, the family vibe that you guys are talking about, it was felt on stage in the audience. It was palpable. You could feel it. And, I've known some of you guys for many years, and it was just, I was starstruck, but also it was just beautiful to see so many of you shining. And I love what you said, Carla, how about, even though you felt like, okay, initially you didn't have lines, your presence was so strong. And I can attest to that. It was full of presence the entire show. And and it showed, and it was such, it stood out so much on Broadway because Broadway is so full of spectacle sometimes. It's the lights, it's the, people flying in. Because I think at the time, it was probably something Disney and crazy that was going on. But your show really stood out because you had like I'm at a loss for words, but what I'm trying to say is like you had the depth. You didn't need the fluff. You had the core of what people come to see shows for. And so I just want to say I'm so glad you guys are doing this. You still deserve all your flowers, and thanks for letting me speak.
Love you, Raina.
Love you.
So, guys, we're going to go across. If you pull to refresh, it'll pop up the order. Next after Raina is Terry. Hi, Terry.
Hello, Patrice. I am so excited that you guys are doing this tonight. I will never forget the moment that I saw The Color Purple. It was Christmas Day. I was trying to understand why my husband was rushing me to eat dinner so fast. He was like, you have to hurry up and eat. He handed me an envelope shortly thereafter, and it was a ticket to The Color Purple. And he said, you have to leave here now and be there in an hour. And I was so appreciative of him because things were really tight financially for us this year, for us that specific year. So he was only able to get one ticket, and I was like down in the front. So, that was an expensive ticket. And I went, and what a phenomenal show that it was. And what made it even more special to me is that I have two friends of mine that I absolutely adore, Antoine and Dwayne.
I love
you. To see them, I'm trying not to cry, y'all, for real. To see you guys on that stage in the midst of all of that magic, that was like a life-transforming moment in my life. And I just want to give flowers. I want to pour flowers on each and every one of you guys. You guys are, like, amazing is an understatement. So I just want to thank you all. Love you, Antoine and Dwayne. And Mr. Truth Hogan.
Hi, Terry.
Hi, Dwayne. Thank you for letting me share.
Thank you. Okay, now listen. This next person, Dominic, we all know him. I need you to, I don't remember the number, Dominic, so I know you're going to tell the people, tell us everything. Tell us everything.
Okay, so full disclosure, I'm really so nervous right now. Hello, everyone. How are you?
Hi, Dominic. So good to see you.
Hi. It's so good to hear and see all of you guys. So my number ended up being on Broadway was 56 times, and then an additional 4 times on tour, so a grand total of 60 times with this cast, with this show, with this experience. And I will say it again, and I said it a few weeks ago when it was the anniversary of the closing, but I would fully give a year off of my life to see you guys in this show one more time. That is truly how special it was for everyone. Just hearing you guys talk and reflect about Oprah coming in and having that video. I have that video on my phone because that moment I was just so enamored by all of your work and just the music, and I found myself going into this Color Purple spiral again, just listening to the music. And now with the new vinyl record out, got that promo, everyone listening, buy the vinyl record. But it was just so special, and I think it's not so much of a question that I have to ask you guys, but it's more so just me thanking you because, here I am seeing your show and obscene amount of times, and you guys didn't think I was crazy or weird or anything. You just were so open and caring and loving. And I remember when Carrie was first starting to get to know me, she was like, when you hit number 10, make sure you message me, I'll take you backstage. And I just remember being like, what? Like, what is going on? Like, how did this come to be? And just, you know, everyone remembering my name and just taking the extra moment. And then Carla, when you would come on the stage, rather at the beginning in the opening, you would always like make that eye contact with me out of the side of your eye. And you even knew the one day when Cynthia sang, "I'm here," in a lower key, she was like, Dom already knows that. And we spoke about that at the stage tour. It was truly just an outer body experience as an audience member. So to hear that you guys also still have and carry with you so much love and gratitude for this show, it just goes to show that the work that you did will be with people for the rest of their life. And, you know, even Zuli, who is one of my greatest friends and a second mother to me, sorry, I'm getting emotional. We were texting earlier, and you know, like we're gonna have this bond for the rest of our lives because of you guys, and because of the show, and because of the music, and just everything. So I'm sorry, I'm just going on and on and on, but thank you so much. And when Broadway reopens, you better believe I'll be there seeing you all. So,
Dominic, I have to say though, you know, listening to Raina and listening to you and having Zuli in our lives, you guys changed us as well.
yeah.
Knowing that the way we told that story and making the story the most important thing to tell, like being really committed to the story, no prop, no nothing else, and having that story affect everybody as well as ourselves in such a way, that was a huge. It still is a huge payoff. Like for me, I still feel so blessed that after this all this time, you still feel this way. I feel blessed that we've met you. I feel, you know, it's that connection that changed my life and is still changing my life. So I know you're thankful for us, but we are also thankful for you and for any and all the people that you know share how much Color Purple meant to them. So I'm grateful for you all as well.
We love you guys. Thank you so much.
Yay, Dom. Good to hear your voice, babe.
Great hearing from you as well.
Okay,
Stay
I'm not
safe.
You too, darling. I'm not introducing everybody. I'm gonna do this last person, and everybody's gonna do their own PTR, guys. That's pull to refresh. But next is one of my dearest friends. I have no idea what she's gonna say because that tongue can be swift. So everybody prepare. So
don't say that. Okay. Well, first, yes, I am one of Patrice's friends, and this was one of my proudest moments of her. And I'm gonna try to make this quick because I'm a crier. So every time Patrice has a show and I go see it, I always cry. Every time. I don't understand why. One day I'm gonna stop, but I was at work and Patrice FaceTimed me, and I couldn't understand why she was FaceTiming me because she knew I was at work. So I said something's wrong. I got up, I FaceTimed her back. I was like, what's going on? And she told me she got Color Purple. And I mean, I hollered in that break room like my mind was bad. And I remember just being so excited and full that she got it, because if y'all knew Patrice's story, I mean, that was something. I remember going in that bathroom and I cried my head off like it was me that got the part. So I remember seeing the show. It was her birthday. Either your birthday was the next day or that day, whatever it was. I was just so amazed at the voices. Of course, I know Patrice's voice, but everyone else, it was just amazing to see. I was just so overwhelmed. And I remember the last number, I cried like you would not believe. I'm talking about, I could not get myself together. It was like I was losing my breath, one of those snot bubbling cries. And the lady beside me, she was like, baby, you all right? I said, no, you don't understand. This is my friend. Okay, this is my friend up here, and this is a dream for her. So I just want to give you your flowers. You know, I love you. And I'm going to stop now because I'm getting ready to get caught up. So I love you guys.
I love you so much, Poochie. All right.
Now, Rashida, hold on. I just got to interrupt right now. Patrice, you know what I'm about to ask you. Thank you for giving that segue, Rashida, without even knowing. But, Patrice, I want you to tell the story about you booking this job, and how people should never count themselves out of a situation because you never know what other people are looking for. You can go into an audition or go into any room and change anyone's mind. You never know. So don't count yourself out before you even know. So Patrice, please tell that story. Thank you.
I knew you were going to do that. Yeah, sure. I'll tell the story. And as I tell it, I want people to know, like, as he said, use this as motivation, encouragement, to literally just not give up and don't count yourself out, like he said. So, first of all, I live in LA now, but y'all, I have been trying to live in LA since 2015. And every time I was in LA, I would get pulled back to New York or some tour or whatever, which I was grateful for. But I really wanted to live in LA. And when the opportunity came up for this show to audition, I was in LA, but I was with Motown Musical. We were on tour. And I straight up just asked if I could miss some days to go to New York to audition. I hope that Christian Dante White is up here because he has a lot to do with this. So I flew to New York, and they had sent me the sides for a church lady to cover either Sophia or Suge as well. And so that's what I prepped for. And I thought that those were appropriate parts for me based on what those roles have historically been as far as what they look like aesthetically, vocally, type, all the way around. I felt like that was probably the most appropriate thing for me to have the potential to play in this production. So I was confident and cool with that. I went in there with my stuff, and the casting director from Telsey was just like, okay, I think, that day they said, you have the material for Squeak, right? And I said, what? Straight up attitude, just like that. Do I have what? The material for Squeak. And I'm like, why would they say that to me? Like, Squeak has always been a petite, fair-skinned, curly-haired young lady. 3 things I ain't never been. So, like, why would they ever try to do that to me? And I'm like, I didn't waste this money and miss my shows, flew to New York. And I'm like, they probably just saying that because they don't want me to feel bad. They giving me, like, a pretend callback because I think that people really do that. Okay, stop it. So I was like, okay, now I'm going back up to Christian's house. Christian Dante White, my dear friend, who's a Broadway star, okay? He sat down with me. He was like, oh, you can do this. I can see why they did it. And I'm like, there's no way that you can see why they would do this. But okay, we worked on it for a little bit of time. He lived in Harlem, and the audition was down in 42nd somewhere, Times Square. And I went back down there, took the notes and the things, the directions that my friend gave me, because trust your friends also, by the way. Got back down there and did it with an attitude. I was like, this is dumb. Like, I still don't believe that I would ever be cast, but whatever. And I sang a cappella because I usually sing Whitney Houston for auditions, and they were like, no Whitney Houston. I'm like, okay. So my other friend Chaz Shepard, also an amazing star and was in the original Color Purple on Broadway, told me to sing I Know I've Been Changed with no music. So I'm like, here I go in here trying to pretend like I got the body type and the voice to be Squeak, and I'm gonna sing a cappella. Sure, okay. I do the thing. It was a decent response. Like, I did fine, but I definitely had attitude. And then I left, and I went back to LA. A couple of days later, I was going to London to do some promo work for Motown, and I'm boarding the plane, and my manager at the time was like, "You're gonna be on Broadway." I was like, doing what? Like, not even fully excited. Like, doing what? He was like, you're gonna be Squeak. And I'm like, wow, with all this ass? How am I gonna be Squeak? And I'm dark brown skin. Like, what? Really? I was having all these bad afterthoughts that made me count myself out, but they saw it in me for other reasons outside of what I looked like. And I loved playing Squeak. I loved playing Squeak. It was the most fun I probably have ever had on stage. It's made it difficult for me to do anything else on stage because that show set the bar so high. I had so much fun doing this. I mean, I really just acted a fool. And y'all know I like to act a fool. So cool. That's my story. That's my encouragement for the people.
Thank you, Patrice. I love when she tells that story because I know there's so many of our Black women, they count themselves out because of the way their hair looks, the way that their body looks. But sometimes you just gotta give it to them so that they take it and that they have no choice but to say that's the one. We can go in any room and change any mind. I promise you that we can. I promise you. That's all I'm gonna say.
If I can add on to that, I was in Motown the musical when all of this was happening with Patrice. Just so y'all know, Grace Ann and Patrice and I all did Motown together. But when you booked that gig and it got back to the cast that you booked it, that energy, that like, oh my God, like, oh my God, that energy like went through the entire cast. We were also elated and also knew what this meant for you and for everybody else that would see you in that role.
Thank you, baby. If I could add, I think you've shown me this so much throughout the years that I've known you, and it's an important lesson. We somehow have gotten in our minds, you know, maybe because the terminology is used so much about type and all these things, but it really is about your energy and your confidence and knowing who you are, even if you're a mess. In those moments, in the moment you walk in the room, you know what you're bringing in there, the energy, the talent, the gifting, and that's what they're looking for. And I think this story that you're saying is just so beautiful because even though you were all over the place with traveling and you were in another show, when you walked in that room, you gave them the Patrice we know. I'm sure of it. And that's what they saw, even if they didn't even know until you walked in. They may have in that moment was like, wait a minute, Squeak. But until you walked in, they wasn't thinking that way because you brought you. And I think, especially for women, we have to stop thinking about type and think about energy, think about confidence, thinking about my shoulders are square and I'm gonna walk in here doing what I do. And that's what they see, because otherwise you're just another big girl that come in there and sing high or loud or whatever. And that was just brilliant that you just was wherever you was at in the moment. That's what they saw, and that's how you got the job.
You were literally perfect for the part from the moment it happened, and doing it in rehearsal and doing the show with you, like perfect. Made me crack up and laugh half the time I was on stage. Perfect. like breaking people on stage because of how funny you actually were in the part. Perfect.
Let's not even talk about Patrice on stage. I almost lost my job because Patrice made me laugh on stage.
Just with the lies. I love you, Kyle. What's up, Harpo? Thank you guys for that. I appreciate that. The show definitely really did teach me. Like Squeak had no inhibition. Like she was just free, and that was probably one of the times in my life where I was the most free and the most confident. So it taught me a lot. Squeak was really, really special to me. Okay. Who's next? Imani. Hi, Imani.
Hey, hi everybody.
Hey, Imani.
Firstly, Patrice, that story was great. It was very encouraging. I really kind of gave up on theater a few years ago, so that was a nice story to hear, to kind of get back into things, hopefully, after all this stuff is going on. I really just wanted to echo a lot of what people were saying. This show, I was working across the street with Kyle at Les Mis, and I remember I was like, oh, they're going to do a revival so soon. And I had seen the original production, and I really, really loved it. It was very big and spectacular. And then I heard that John Doyle was directing, and I was like, okay, this sounds going to be interesting. And then I remember when Angela got in, I was like, okay, now I have to go see it. And I went, and it was probably one of 3 or 4 times in theater that I will never ever forget, because it was exactly what I had wanted when I had seen the original. Like, the original was wonderful and great, but the storytelling in the revival was so forward, and it was the focus of the musical, and I really had only kind of felt that way when I had seen Scottsboro Boys, Passing Strange, and I think probably the original Color Purple, and to see people who look like me on stage and not be tokens or just that random chorus person who's like, oh, there's the black person you see running across the stage dancing, which is a lot of what I was saying when I first moved to the city. So thank you all for that. It also was just wonderful to, having worked at Les Mis across the street, to see large groups of black folk going to the theater, dressing up for the theater. That really, really spoke, because a lot of the times you hear, black people won't go see shows. We're not going to cast these people in this. We're not going to put this on Broadway because, this audience is not the demographic to see this. And I really think that this show proved that that's not true, and that if you put something up, people will go see it. And no matter who, if it's good, people will go see it. But when you put something on stage where somebody can see themselves, they will absolutely go see it over and over and over again. They will tell their friends and family. And I think that was one of the biggest takes of that, is that representation really does matter. And that I would like to thank all of you for proving that correct.
Thanks very much.
So much.
We appreciate that. I definitely know a lot of us often felt like, yes, we had stars in our show. We're all stars. We're all galaxies, actually. Don't be a star, be a galaxy. Cheers to me. But also, the show, like the book, was the star of that show. If we tell the story right, if we're honest and we are true, then the show kind of shines all by itself. It was like sprinkles and glitter on top, that we had a good time and that we were black and that people related to it no matter what their ethnicity is. Would you guys agree with that?
Yes, and coming from the mouth of Alice Walker herself, she said, "This is my book right here." She came and sat in our rehearsal one day and said, "This is my book." And that was truly overwhelming for me.
I can speak to I think it was John Doyle's. I have to give, respect to him, his vision, because I've never experienced in any Broadway musical a director that really allowed the storytellers to tell the story, or at least allowed us a process in our rehearsal. Like, I remember in rehearsals, we'd run a scene, and then he'd say, "Rima, how did you feel about that?" Or, "Jakina, how do you feel?" He would allow us to be a part of the process, which I feel brought the authenticity and the realness, and allowed us to connect to the story ourselves personally, which is why, Patrice, you were saying you were feeling these cathartic things, because it allowed us to be authentic even in the process of putting the show together. So I think John Doyle at the helm, he was the conduit to allow us to tell our story. Do y'all feel that?
I do. I absolutely. And to
totally.
Back off of John, like the way he works, if you weren't in a scene, you weren't in the room. So when we came in and we were connecting the scenes and we were finally seeing what everybody was working on, somebody was crying every single day. If it wasn't everybody, there was at least 2 or 3 people crying every single day, because John made that thing so special, so powerful, so spiritual. And like Grace Sand said, he gave us permission to be ourselves and bring what we wanted to the world.
Do you remember how we couldn't get it together so much that he said, okay, everybody, come sit down around me. He was like, y'all can't be this sentimental. You have to keep it together and tell the story. You know, you got to let the audience go through it. So whatever you do, just tell the story. But y'all got to get it together. Do y'all remember that?
That's right. That's right.
He was like, you cannot do this.
Oh, yeah.
But we also got to remember that experience. Let the audience have that experience. Your job is just to tell the story in the moment. Be where you are, like Patrice was. Be where you are and tell the story. The book itself is enough. We are enough as artists. Mm-hmm. So just get on the stage, look at each other, and tell the story. And pick up your chair.
Right, but John, bless his heart.
And don't you approach every project like that now? I find that
absolutely
every project, I don't care what it is, to take me out of myself. I don't know if it's this narcissistic, thing that makes you nervous and start wondering, am I a good actor? Am I doing this? And then when you say no, it doesn't matter. Just tell the story. Whatever that is for you, tell the story. And it just changes everything around. That's the biggest thing that I learned from this experience.
And also we had the opportunity to I know for us, like me, Rima, and Bree, like we were the church ladies, right? And so in the book, there's not a lot to go on with the church ladies. So we had to pull from what we were given in the script and then create our own chemistry, create our own flow. And I think that John, for each of us, for all the characters, that he gave us the space to do that. I remember when he said, you don't have to overcompensate because you already are who you need to be. You're already Black. I think Patrice had said something about being Black, whatever. He's like, exactly. You already Black. You ain't got to try to be that. That's who you are. But he gave us the space to kind of to figure out who these characters were for ourselves, like how we were going to bring us to the pages and really have fun with that. And I think that freedom, that he wasn't trying to micromanage us as actors and performers in our artistry, I think for me that made it a breathable work. It was a breathable work. I think it's the reason why we were able to have such a good time. It wasn't like it was all perfect and roses and daisies every day. It was still work for us. No, it wasn't. But like it was still something for me that I felt good about coming to work every day.
And I appreciated he sat us down that first day, and he knew, as this white man and this white foreign man, right, leading this production, that there was energy around that. And I remember him taking the time, as the first thing he said, with all of the producers and everybody around, he put them to the side, sat us down in front of him, and he told us why he wanted to tell this story. He talked about his connection to Georgia and going to college and just knowing the weight that he carried with that, and with us being an all-Black cast. And I remember that moment because it took a lot of humility to say that. As a Scottish man, right, directing this all-Black cast, I'm gonna tell y'all how to essentially be Black and tell this story, right?
That's right.
And I remember that.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
It made me take some edge off because I had edge with that too. And a lot of people, we don't really talk about that when other people tell our stories, how that makes us feel. You know what I mean? And that energy was there. It was there when we started taking things away, right? All of that. But we trusted him because he took the time right at the beginning to address it, and we continued to address those energies and whatever we were feeling coming up in that room to allow us the space that I think to truly get to that authentic moment of when we really got out there on that stage. It was all there because we dealt with it in the room in a really beautiful way.
Yeah, I remember him specifically saying how he rode that bus and was his first time being around all Black people on a bus, and how odd it was for him. And now he said he felt like he was the bus driver and that we were all the passengers on the bus, and he was leading the story to another place. And how beautiful that is for that to happen in his life at that moment. I mean, it releases you. It releases your worry about how he's going to handle the piece you're about to do, and it released a lot of the any kind of stagnation we could have had with him right at the beginning. Just diffuse the whole thing, And another thing that I was always so happy about with the show was how much complete control he had over being able to tell the story with no outside interference at all. It was just all him. So it was wonderful.
Okay, let's get back to the audience questions and comments. We'll go with Judine, and then Deanna, and then Corey.
Great. Thank you, Patrice. And guys, thank you so much for putting this on tonight. It is just everything for a fan to sit here and witness this with you. And Patrice, you are an amazing moderator, so thank you again. And to all of the cast, I just want to say thank you for welcoming us as fans, letting us in, and allowing us to appreciate you for all the reasons that have already been mentioned. I saw the original Broadway cast. I loved it. And like you said, when they announced the revival, I was like, whoa, it's just too soon. But what happened, and like you said, with the stripped down version, it allowed you to get lost in the story. And the group that I rolled with, or still roll with, for us, we would roll up every night like we were going to a movie. Like, you going to see TCP tonight? And we were like, yeah. Or, just check out the matinee. Got to go see it again tonight. So it was just that kind of, I don't know, almost an addiction to show up. But I think for myself, I met so many people in the aisles, at the stage door, on the tour, at parties we probably shouldn't have been at, but we are so grateful to have had the chance to just kind of meet with everyone and get to know you. That being said, I do have two questions. I was shocked to find out that the church ladies actually had names. I think someone left the script open at one point in the lighting booth, and I happened to see it. What are their names? And two, I think you kind of alluded to it earlier about Patrice breaking the cast at some point, but what is the funniest thing that you remember that happened on stage during the show where you just couldn't hold it in?
Oh my God.
This could be bad. No, I'm just kidding.
No out. No.
Okay, so the answer to the question about the church ladies, I think I was Doris, right? Rima and Bree. I need y'all's help.
Yes, we're here, baby. We're here.
So
Yeah, what's up?
Bree, who are you?
Jareen.
Jareen, yep. Rima.
She was ratchet. Why you don't ask me who I was? Was I Doreen? Doreen?
Rima, you don't remember your own name? Look, check your resume. Right. Check your resume.
It was Doreen.
Oh, okay, there we go. That's right, because Doreen and Jareen were twins. That's right.
Yeah.
Fraternal twins. There we go.
Well, I didn't know that.
Nobody in the last one will come from Rima.
I didn't know that was fraternal twins. Well, look at that.
You want to know the most embarrassing thing that ever happened?
Wait a minute. When did we become twins? I thought.
Yeah, I didn't know we were twins either.
Yeah, listen, y'all. I just made that up. Now just go with the flow.
Carrie.
Like, I know it's been a minute, but
Carrie, do you and Bree remember that time that we lost it?
No, that was me.
That was you?
Yes, we were on stage with Phoenix.
By ourselves.
Yeah. Well, what happened?
Singing.
What happened was Cynthia was putting the jacket onto Jennifer in the scene. And Cynthia's here, Akron is here. Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Cynthia was putting the jacket onto Jennifer, and for some reason, Jennifer's arms would not go all the way through.
She was tired. She was tired. When she turned around, she couldn't.
I don't know what it was, but when she turned around, she looked like a bird. And me and Rima,
she looked like an alien to me.
Yeah, we lost it. Cynthia gave us a look. And poor Phoenix was the only one. Singing. Me and Rima,
they just dropped all the way out, and I was just singing.
Because we were good
off stage.
Fifi, we were good, and then I heard Carrie say, "What the?"
I was done. I was in the dressing room, and I looked up, playing with somebody's stuff, and I looked up at the speaker and said, "What in the hell is happening out there?"
Oh, we
back down.
We just said, all I heard, he got the No, what was it? What was the song?
I said, oh wait, I don't know.
No,
she got one. She got him.
And Rima just went, and stopped singing.
That's right.
Walked off the stage.
And we left you there.
They left me there for my solo moment.
I was like, Carrie, let's just go. It's a wrap. So unprofessional. professional. But
So
that
many,
was horrible.
so many funny moments. We also had like chicken night and fight night. Remember those events, guys?
Oh, you mean the first week of Color Purple where we just had everybody and their auntie coming in with the whole picnic baskets?
Yeah.
Oh yes, walk offs. All
It was
stuff like that.
it was a lot. It was.
And wait, what was fight night? Somebody had an audience?
Yeah, they got into a fight. Mm-hmm.
Cynthia, do you remember when they got into a fight in the beginning?
Oh yeah.
Thing?
Yeah.
Wasn't that nuts?
It was like right at the top of the show, no? And
Yeah.
then it just all hell broke loose in the aisle somewhere. I don't know what was going on. Like
It was house right to the back.
oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
No, my favorite is when that man was taking pictures of Cynthia and she went into her own accent and was like, "Hey, you with the camera, with the red hat, stop that."
Oh, yeah.
He went from
Yep,
Georgia
the last
to
scene.
London and back to London like, "Nah, bro, let's just be honest."
And that was one of my first shows, and I was on stage like, oh shit, and they were like, "Child, she done did that before." People she checked their
But
hands.
she
I
would
said,
try to hold
"Oh,
it down, but he was right in her face.
I was really trying. I really was trying, but he was maybe like 3 or 4 rows from the front. And this is like the end of the show when it's quiet. It's just me and Isaiah on the stage on this little cloth, and we're having this conversation. Nothing is playing. There's no music, and all you can hear is.
And you had another
little red light, and I was like, "You, yes, you with the camera, with the red hat on, stop that."
And then I think you said, and like I said,
and
maybe we should just be friends.
That is. She went
right back to it.
Yeah, I know we can go on for days and days and days about funny and crazy things that happened, Judine, but that's just a little bit. I know literally there was so many things.
Sorry, I have to say this. There were plenty of times where Patrice and Carla
Wait a minute.
up in their dressing rooms. No, let's talk about it. Y'all would be up in your dressing room and y'all would be running. Oh, we would talk about
a marathon that we didn't know about.
Yeah. Go ahead on it. Go ahead and minister. Go ahead.
No, Patrice would start a conversation with me on the 3rd floor of like a million steps, and we would hear that music where we're supposed to run off for Hell No. And I was like, hell no, I can't do this anymore. I cannot go up these stairs with Patrice and be laughing, talking about whatever we're talking about, and running down these steps about to bust everything, our kneecaps, our arms, everything.
Yeah, we did a lot of things. We also did twerk push-ups backstage. Jakina, she used to lead those. She was great. She's a great coach.
I got pregnant.
Ooh. I told y'all that it was fast. Okay, before we get to Deanna, it might be Dina, I'm not sure, sorry. But before we get to Dina and Corey, what's up, Akron and Cynthia? Your official welcome into the clubhouse, to the thing.
Thank you very much. Hey, how are you?
Good. What's up, Akron?
What's up, all y'all beautiful people, not just on the stage, also in the audience. What's up?
We've just been talking about so many things. We talked about all the deep emotional stuff already, y'all. We talked about, the moment when Oprah came in. We talked about just what it meant to do this show as a Black actor. And we talked about, all the deep things that happened during rehearsal. You were there, so I don't have to repeat it. But for those of you who are just joining, this is the original Broadway Color Purple Revival cast. We're just chatting about moments and how our lives have changed and how, everything that is purple truly is divine, and it's been the gift that keeps on giving. A lot of us, all of us, have gone on to do some more really, really beautiful things in the industry, which I can't wait to talk about at the Dina and Corey chat, so that people can know where to find us beyond the purple.
Now that's Deanna. That's my niece. Come
okay,
on.
Deanna, I'm sorry, I didn't put her name up. I'm sorry, baby. Hi, Deanna.
Hey y'all. Hey Auntie Carla. So
great minds think alike, and I had the question about the funny moments on stage too, because I've heard so many. But even past that, I just wanted to give my thanks and kudos to my auntie, because I remember Carla leaving from Chicago to go to New York, and I was extremely nervous for her. I don't know why. I just remember being nervous and not wanting her to go. And I do consider myself her protege, and so to see her break down these barriers and make dreams literally come true. I literally saw her career start and up until now. So I think that is just amazing to see your journey, Auntie Carla, and I just love you so much. And this was my first Broadway show that I've ever experienced. I remember flying to New York by myself. I remember Auntie Carla telling me I had to take the train back to Astoria by myself from the theater. I was extremely scared, but it was a time, and we had karaoke and we ate good food in New York. So I'm so thankful for this cast, for this show, because like I said, it was the first time I got to experience anything like this, and you all have opened so many doors and opened so many different perspectives in my brain, especially coming from a PWI. To see an all-black cast and see this cast just do it so well was just mind-blowing. So thank you all. That's it.
I love you, Deanna, and I just want to give a shout out. My baby just graduated from college, and she graduated in 2020, so she didn't get to walk the stage. But I just want to acknowledge you. She's a brilliant performer, and follow her and give her some love. I love you, Deanna.
Congratulations.
I actually have a really quick, funny story from a swing standpoint, just to answer you, Deanna. So as y'all know, the Color Purple stage its staging was different from any show that I had done. There were no marks. There were no there were no spikes. There were no anything. You just had to know where to go. So as a swing, you had to know where everyone went, and sometimes that was not easy to do. So Rima, I don't know if you remember this, but one day I got on stage and I was playing. I had to play two roles that day. I played Old Mister, which I had never done before, and I played Grady. And Rima was on as Suge. So I came out and I'm like a deer in headlights. And Rima said her line, and I just stood there like, and she said my line, and then carried her line. And then when it was time for us to go, she politely just pushed me in my back and was like, it's time for you to leave. Go on off stage. Yeah, so stuff like that would happen all the time.
Okay, Corey, what's up?
Well, good evening, pastor member and friends. First of all, among all this praise and worship, I would like to say thank you all for making every day a Sunday. The black excellence that was on that stage on every night. Ooh-wee. A dear friend of mine first bought me tickets on the anniversary of my mother passing away, and he did this whole big thing. He took me to St. Patrick's Cathedral. We lit candles, and as we were leaving St. Patrick's Cathedral, he dropped something on the ground. I didn't know what it was, so I just kept walking out the doors. That ain't my business. And he was like, wait a minute, I just dropped something. You were supposed to pick that up. I was like, I didn't see you drop anything. It was tickets to see Color Purple. So we went to see the show, and to requote what everybody else said, the representation mattering and the excellence on that stage and the storytelling, and we don't need fancy hydraulics. We don't need these tricks. We don't need all these fancy tricks to make theater excellent. We have a story. We have talent. We have the gift. And to see that from all black folk, look, we don't need to fly up in the sky. We can stand on the ground with chairs, baby, because all we need is this story and this love for telling the story. And to see that, that sparked a joy inside of me that cannot be measured by words. And I want to thank you so much. And to Patrice, as an actor, every day it is bringing you into the room. And when I think about that, I'm like, I play other characters for a living. What you mean bring me into the room? You don't want me, or you want a stereotypical version of this big black man. And I have played multiple tokens. And to hear you tell that story was like, that's what everybody needs to hear. You have to allow yourself to be you, because they didn't know who Squeak was until you walked into the room. And to hear that, to be like, you have to allow yourself to be you. And that's how we're great, is the honesty in us. And what makes the story so beautiful are the people telling the story and their honesty. Now, it's the book is amazing and you have a great thing to work with, but it wouldn't be as amazing if it wasn't the people telling the story, the people. And to feel that was outstanding. I can't thank y'all enough. And to actually ask a question, do you think you could ever do the show with props now?
I don't want to do it any other way. Like,
no.
I feel like in your journey in theater as an actress, as an artist, you may have that one opportunity or that one experience that will change your life forever, and you don't want to try to even replicate that. And that's what Color Purple is for me. And my family knows that I live and breathe Color Purple. I feel like that old high school jock that's at the school reunion 30 years later. Remember that touchdown that I did in 1977? Like, I feel like that's me, but I don't care. I'm proud of this show. I'm so proud of the family that I gained and the experience that I had. And it was so spiritual that I don't even want to try to replicate it in any other way ever.
Thank you, Corey. All right.
Now I'll replicate it in a movie.
Okay.
All right. So,
Cynthia Erivo.
Yes, you rang.
What up, child?
Hey. So, I talked a little bit about you earlier when I was saying about a few of us were like, when we heard about the show and then when we booked the show, like, I kind of didn't have that much faith in the show. I'm not going to lie. I was like, it's too soon. Like, they just did the show. Like, this is going to flop. And then when John Doyle took away all the props, I'm like, we're going to definitely close in 5 months. Then I was, and before I met you, who is this girl from England? So I want to talk about how we are so blessed to have been able to watch your life change right in front of us. You did the show in London at the Chocolate Factory, and also with John Doyle. For the people who don't know, because we know, okay. You did the show in London at the Chocolate Factory. It was a smashing sensation there. And then you came and killed the game on Broadway. You were new to America. Now you pretty much go here. So let's talk about you a little bit and how this show changed your life and just the impact that it's had on you from the beginning in London to now, where you are highly accoladed and blessed.
Thank you. When I heard it was coming to London, because that's really where the journey started, I had this sort of like incessant need to do this show. It wasn't like, I want to do it, it didn't feel right to not do it. So I think I pursued it in any way I could possibly pursue it, whether it be my agent trying to put me forward, whether it be me sending in tapes of me, and they wouldn't see me. Nothing would work for them to see me until a friend one day asked the artistic director of the Meunier to let me come in and audition. They gave me 4 scenes and they asked me to sing I'm Here and another song of my own choice. I had 2 days to learn everything, and in that 2 days I made a decision to learn everything like the back of my hand, because I refused
to not know it. I refused to give them an excuse not to have me. I just wanted to do everything humanly possible to be a part of this journey. I didn't know why. My spirit just was telling me that this is the thing that I'm supposed to be doing. I just knew it. I knew it innately that this was the thing that I was supposed to be a part of. In my head, this show was going to be a small little show at the Menier Chocolate Factory that would last for a month or two, and then that would be that. And I was happy for that. I wanted to be a part of that. And as we're moving through the show, maybe like a month in, one of the producers asks if I want to, if I would be into doing the show on Broadway. And I thought they were joking. So I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Didn't think anything other than that. And I thought it was just a nice thing for someone to say. It wasn't until maybe a couple of weeks later that they called me into the office to say, hey, this is actually going to Broadway, we're just looking for a theatre, that I started to let myself believe that it was possible. Not until maybe a few months after the show was done that they said they had found a theatre and they were just looking for the Shug, and they were looking for Sophia. That I thought, oh my God, I may have to leave my home. And then they found Jennifer, they found Danielle, they decided that these are the two women that were going to be doing it, and it was announced. And it quickly set in that this was what was happening. And so jump cut to me getting the tickets booked, being on the phone, working out everything, and getting to the airport and realizing that I had to make the choice to leave home or stay, take the chance or not. Because I had never done Broadway before. I had no idea what it was going to be like. I had no idea what could happen. The show might close in a few months. The show might do well. Who knew? I had no... It was my intention to do the show and come home. So I'm crying my eyes out at the airport because, well, I'm leaving my mum and my family behind, and they're the only family I have. I get to New York, and it was during the rehearsals that I realized that we had something really, really special. I don't think I had ever felt that communion with a cast of people before. I never felt a cast turn into my family, and that was what was happening with this show. And then when we opened, for me, it was first preview. Something very wonderful happened between the audience and us on the stage. It stopped becoming a show and entertainment and started becoming a service. It started becoming communion. That I wanted to make sure every day I was giving as much of myself to as possible, which probably drove me into the ground a little bit because I was exhausted. Like for me, it wouldn't make sense for me to have done this without giving my heart and soul to it. But it changed everything for me, really. It changed my entire life. I don't know that I would be where I am. I don't think I would be playing the roles that I've played. I don't believe that I would have been able to stand on an Oscar stage and sing a song I've written. I don't believe any of that would have happened if not for the Color Purple, if not for the communion that was created because of that show. And to this day, there are people that still talk to me about Color Purple when I come into the room and I'm meeting them for the first time. Their first experience of me is as a part of Color Purple on Broadway, and there's nothing more great than that, to be honest. Yeah. Beautiful. Love that story. Have you ever had anybody that has followed your Sealy journey from the Chocolate Factory to Broadway? I think so, but it's mostly people that I know in London who they saw me at the Chocolate Factory, and then they came and saw me again on Broadway, and I've stayed in contact with them, like friends and family. Obviously, my mother and my sister have followed that journey for a while, but yeah, a few people have, and I think it's wonderful to like go back and go over that and look at where I was and how much I've grown from that moment to now. Much more growth
is ahead of me, but it's a wonderful place to start. And it's a wonderful place to be in now.
I remember because I was over in London right after you done the show.
Oh, Kyle, yes, of course.
Yeah.
And I saw you with the Scottsboro Boys.
Yeah, so in the Scottsboro Boys, and I remember we were at the What's on Stage Awards.
Yeah.
And that was when we met and you sang, and I remember just seeing you singing, and I was just like, like I was just kind of like, does anybody else realize what's happening right now? And I remember talking about it, and I was like, so when are you coming to America? Because this is something's gonna happen when you do. And I remember talking about it, and then they had announced the show, and then I messaged you, and I was like, so you're coming? I will do my best to get in the show with you. And luckily enough, it happened. It was just, I mean, you just kind of exuded it you knew. It was just like seeing you perform, you just knew. You knew there was something special coming out of it.
Thank you, Kyle.
And Cynthia, like, when she came to rehearsal, and John would be like, oh, you don't have to sing full out. You can mark, Cynthia, full voice, every single time. Oh, that's what we're doing. Okay, well, thank you very much. No. But, like, she came and she meant that word.
Jason Michael Webb looked at her and said, oh, we're going to sing this all afternoon, so you don't have to do it full out. And she was like, do I ever want
Nope, I got it. I got it.
I said, well, go on, daughter, go on. I love it every time. I could listen to it all the time.
I love you guys.
Mignon, you got a question, darling? A comment or concern?
Yes. Thank you for saying my name perfectly. I appreciate that, Patrice. I just wanted to come on and just say thank you. I have experienced this show a few times, and what an experience it was. The impact that each of you left on the minds and the hearts of humanity is something that is unforgettable. And so, you all are inspiring, intriguing, heartfelt, and definitely have just made an impact and been etched on my heart. I was able to see this show. My mother wanted to see it initially when Fantasia was in the revival, and she wasn't able to, and continued to ask me for a few years. And finally, we were able to get tickets, and I knew I was going to come specifically to see Carrie. I love you, Carrie. And, I was just so excited to partake of something so unique and trailblazing, truly, for our industry and for Black and Brown voices. And so I'm excited to see what each of you have for the future. And thank you for allowing us to take part in such a beautiful display of art.
Thanks, Mignon. Appreciate that.
Love you, Mignon. Next.
April. Hi. So first off, I want to say that you guys are inspiration to me, and that you really left your mark on me as well as many other people in this chat room. I saw the original Broadway production of The Color Purple when I was 7, and I fell in love with it because it was the first time that I had seen people of my skin tone on stage. I was 7 at the time, so I really didn't know the impact or the storyline, but I just knew that I felt something. And then I want to say in middle school, I ended up getting into acting, specifically stage acting. And throughout my school life, I had always mentioned The Color Purple, and I ended up getting into an acting program. That acting program got me tickets to go see the revivals. And it was a surprise to me, it was a shock. Everybody knew how much The Color Purple impacted impacted my life and knew how much I loved this show. But I didn't even know that there was a revival. So when I came into it, when I came to see it, I came with a fresh mindset in terms of perspective. And when the opening number happened and I heard you guys' voices, oh, I'm getting emotional. Sorry. When I heard you guys' voices, everything, all my worries, everything that I thought I couldn't do went away when I saw you and heard you on the stage. Specifically, Cynthia, Carrie, and Patrice and Carla, you guys impacted me in a way that I don't think you will ever understand. Seeing a person of color on a stage, seeing a curvy girl on a stage with a big voice and a big presence. And I want to say thank you. Ooh. Okay, on a lighter note, my question to you is, being that you guys are actors and actresses, a lot of people don't know the mindset that goes into putting on a show every day. Can you talk a little bit about how you guys prepare, or your mindset going into a show that you have to do every day for 3 years?
Phoenix, can you answer that, babe? I haven't heard from you, lovely.
Oh, sorry. I was putting my stuff through the dishwasher. Yeah, I mean, when I was in Color Purple, I was a swing, so I only went on when someone wasn't in the show. So for me, being in the show when I was, it never got old, and it was always so refreshing. And the Color Purple was just such a wonderful experience to me because I grew up in the show virtually. I was 21 when I started rehearsals. I'm sorry if I have a list. I have on whitening strips. But yeah, I grew up in the show, and so it was quite new to me too, doing the same thing, because in college and high school you only do about 2 weeks of a show or a weekend of a show, but doing it with these people on this stage always made it fresh and new and fun. So I hope that answered the question.
Awesome. Thank you, Phoenix. Larnell?
Hello. Once again, thank you guys for doing this. I am so honored to be on this platform with you all. And I just wanted to ask a question. This production was so transformative for everyone involved. Not only Cynthia, but I've watched and followed you guys and seen everybody just blossom and grow. And I was just wondering, what were some of the lessons that you all learned individually and as an ensemble about just the growth of this show? It was such an anomaly. What was something that you guys took away from this experience, a lesson?
Adriana, you want to answer that, babe? Can you?
Oh, yeah. There were so many lessons that I took away from this experience. And one, just learning, being able to sit back and watch greatness every single night. And also just professionalism that you bring to a stage, and how, if you bringing your heart to the audience is really what matters and what counts. And also learning to take my time and enjoy the process, and loving myself through the process, because that was really difficult for me when I first joined in the show, and everything was kind of new, and trying to figure out, how do I play my part and do what I'm supposed to do. And it was a journey of discovering who I was, and also, just being a part of something that was so much greater than me, and learning my place. So that was the biggest thing. Just going through the process, and just going through the process and and embracing every single learning moment, knowing that it's a stepping stone for the future. Yeah.
Thank you, A. Just for the rest of the people that are gonna talk, we are we're running out of time. So I want to just say, speed it up when you ask the question. Just people are headed out. We are, Cynthia and I are on West Coast time, but everybody else on the East Coast, so it's late. So let's just get to the questions, please, my loves. It's Liz. Liz was one of the.
Hey, Liz.
Hey, Liz. I've already been texting her.
Hey, Liz.
You got to hit the microphone.
Liz, you got to. Yeah.
Sorry, I was hitting the wrong microphone. I just wanted to say hi. I miss you all and loved you all, and I thoroughly enjoyed this evening.
Thank you so much, Liz.
So good to hear from you and see your face or your picture. Before the next person talks, I am going to wave good evening to everybody. I have an early call tomorrow. I love you all. Thank you for showing up tonight. I love everybody.
Love you, Carrie.
I love y'all so much. And we're going to see each other again. Love you guys so much.
Bye, Carrie.
Love you, Carrie. Bye.
Bye, Carrie.
Love y'all.
Jerm, you next.
Hello, my name is Jermaine, and I'm a junior in high school. And actually, my high school was one of the first schools to produce The Color Purple after the revival closed. I had the opportunity to play Grady and understudy for Mr. And honestly, it was an experience like no other. I've been acting since I was 5 years old, and I've never done a show like that with an all-black cast, with people who share similar experiences with me. And really, the show, it changed the way I view acting, the way I view life, but most importantly, it changed the way that I view myself. And so, so every day, I listen to this musical about every day, and I just remember, like, when I would go to rehearsals or when I would do the show, I would feel like a king, like I had the world and the power to do whatever I want in my hands, especially in African homeland. And it was just one of the best experiences I've ever experienced in my life. And thank you, because if it weren't for you guys, I would never have the opportunity to experience something like that. So I'm forever grateful for everyone, the original cast, the original revival cast. I'm just forever grateful. I love you all so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, man. Antia Burchett is in the house.
Santea.
Antia, that's what I meant.
Shut up, Angela. Yeah, I ain't want nothing. I just popped up here to say, hey, Patrice, hey, Cynthia.
You know what? I'm going to embarrass you right now, Antia. This woman has basically been with us, myself and Patrice, for a year. And basically dealing with me for the entire year, making sure that my voice was in top shape and making sure that I was taking care of myself and singing in the right way for one of, the most major roles of my life. So I'm just going to put it here for everyone to know this woman is one of the most incredible things I've ever met, and one of the most, more than that, one of the most incredible teachers.
Cynthia. That's Cynthia. She is fantastic. And all of you who don't know, the Burchett sisters, Google it.
Google them. Come on. Immediately.
Google it. All three of them.
And y'all, I just want to say hi. She's the oldest.
Ooh.
She's right.
Y'all are wrong.
No, I'm not the oldest, even though I have the biggest mouth. Doesn't mean I'm the oldest, Angela Burchett. Whatever. I just want to say I love you guys. And Cynthia, I talked to you when the first rehearsal we had about what The Color Purple meant to me. And you know that story. Obviously, it was a meaningful thing for me because it was Angela's debut on Broadway. Yeah.
And she's my big sister. So my big sister, meaning my older sister, just want to make that clear there, if anybody missed it. It was
18 months. Shut up.
I don't care if it was 18 seconds. We watched her she's lived this whole life of wanting that moment to be on Broadway, and then for her to be a part of such an incredible show that was life changing for me, because like Cynthia, I told you, I was going through this whole thing and trying to figure out how to come out to my parents, and I was like, this is gonna be a whole thing.
Yeah.
And I found the strength through you all's story and the singing and the acting, to stand up and I mean, I was in my 30s when I finally came out, but it was that moment to sit through that show and cry and just experience all these emotions, and then to however many years later be able to work with you guys, with you Cynthia, with you Patrice, like it's just been like a full circle kind of thing for me. So I love y'all, and I'm so grateful for all of y'all. Truly I am.
Grateful for you too. I wanted to, speaking of sisterhood, yes, and Taya and Angela are sisters. Few things about sisterhood. This show obviously boasts about the love and the depth of sisterhood. I know, like Cynthia has a little sister. I got a little sister. Angela got sisters. People who have sisters are different, and it's just there's a book that's coming out that's called In Search of the Color Purple, that I discovered on Instagram yesterday. Someone sent it to me, and I'm so excited to read it because it talks about it being competition in sisterhood, but also I like the encouragement and motivation in the sisterhood, and that love that is just so, it's hard to explain. I'm actually sitting here trying to explain it, and I can't. And I think my sister is up here too. But Cynthia, I know you're very close to your sister too. Just sisterhood is this show. And another thing about sisters, Angela played Jackie Clark in the Clark Sisters movie. If you haven't seen it on Lifetime, get into it. She's a star. Cynthia and I play sisters in Genius. Aretha, I am Irma Franklin, is the incomparable Aretha. So that's coming out almost next month in March. So tune in for that. Anything else on that, Cynthia?
No, I was like, that's really great. Well, there's connections you made. That's kind of incredible. I didn't even realize that from being a part of something that that encouraged the sisterhood in us in general, to then flying the coop and then being a part of things that allowed us to actually play sisters is kind of wonderful. Yeah.
And I think even in real life, we've all had sisterly moments, the good and the bad. It's been really, sisterhood has been the ever-going theme since The Color Purple, I would say.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, cool. Mike, what's up?
Hey, Mike. I think I got it.
Hi. What's up, man?
What's up, people?
I could talk for an hour and I could talk for minutes. I'm going to talk for a minute. It's just good to see all of your names and your faces. It's been really fun to obviously see where all of you have gone post Color Purple. It was a huge part of my experience living in New York City, and taking people to see it and seeing it on tour and taking coworkers to see it, bringing y'all to Facebook back when I worked at Facebook. It was just a really special experience. So it's good to see your faces and your names, and I can't wait to see you wherever you are next.
Thanks, Mike. Chanel, I'm so sorry, and Demetric, I skipped both of you somehow. I'm very sorry about that. Let's go back to Demetric.
Hi. So I just want to say thank you to everybody that was a part of it. Of course, I know this play means a lot to a lot of people, but my question was actually for Cynthia. So Cynthia, I wanted to know, because I sing, and I always say if I could get this certain role, or if I could be a part of a certain type of play or something, then I feel like my career would be full circle or come full circle for me. Like it would basically let me know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Was that the role for you that kind of made your career become full circle, or if it wasn't, which role or which production were you a part of? You kind of just knew, like, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to be. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. Was it Sealy for you, or was it something else?
I guess the role of Sealy, more than making me feel like I'd come full circle, it taught me that some productions or some plays or some performances, some characters are more than just a play or a character or a performance. They are touch points in your life that lead to bigger moments and bigger learnings. And that's actually, for me, what I look for in any of the characters. It's not, for me, it's not really about making a full circle moment. It's about challenging myself to be better than the last. It's always about chasing, I guess, a bigger stories, truer moments, creating more moments that, like we had whilst we were in The Color Purple. It's about challenging myself to do the things that I think I won't be able to achieve. If I look at a character and I think, oh, if it scares me, then it's probably the right role to go for. It isn't about completing the circle. It's about, I guess, running in a straight line. So there's where you can't really see the end. You just keep going, and you keep moving further and further towards whatever great thing comes next. Because one thing shouldn't ever be the end. Thank you. You're welcome.
Hi, I'm Chanel. I'm so happy to get to talk to you guys. I just, stumbled upon this through knowing a couple people, but I just, like, in hearing everyone, remembered how important this movie, the book, the musical was to me. And I just wanted to talk about timing. My question is about timing, and how, like, divine timing can be. The first time I heard Cynthia sing was when she sang Fly More Than You Fall for a song on Beyond the Lights, and I was like, oh my God, what is this voice? And then fast forward to being a freshman in college and singing I'm Here, and having that be, I went to see the show. I stood in line at 5 a.m., 4 a.m., stood in line to see the show the closing week, to see it for research, and seeing you guys all perform, to fast forwarding again and working with Bree in the Book of Mormon, and knowing Rima through the Book of Mormon, working with Maya, who was in the original Broadway cast. It's similar to Phoenix, who she started at 21. I started Book of Mormon at 21. So it's just crazy to me that, like, how divine everything is timed. And that being said, my question is, as a performer, as a young artist, I'm 23 now, but I feel like I'm very impatient. I'm waiting and waiting for things to happen, and I'm like, oh, come on. So I just wanted you guys to speak on what you think about timing and having the patience to know when, the best things are coming for you, because I'm sure that, when you start a workshop years down the line, like you said, Patrice, oh, I don't know if this is going to look too good. You wait, and then it turns into something greater, or vice versa. Thank you.
Hey, it's Bree.
Never mind.
Hi, Bree. I love you.
I love you too.
Hey. Oh, okay. Grayson, can you take that question? Did you hear it?
Yeah. Just repeat the question again. I'm sorry.
As an actor right now, as a young artist, I wonder what you guys have advice-wise in terms of timing and patience, because I find that I'm very impatient, wanting these huge moments to happen to me right now. But as people who have been in this industry and experienced something so monumental, when there were times that you didn't think, oh, I don't know how this is going to work out, I just wonder how you keep your patience and keep your faith in the right timing of things happening for you.
I think, I think it's partly about where you keep your attention, and if you keep your attention on what it is that you do want, doing the work, surrounding yourself around people who inspire you, surrounding yourself around things that inspire you, and trying to be in that flow and focusing on that versus I don't want to say lack of the thing not happening or lack of the job not coming, because that which you focus on is just going to perpetuate. It's not coming yet. It's not coming yet. So I guess in my personal experience and professional experience is just trying to find the flow of what it is that I desire, and who are the people that I want to work with, and the rooms that I want to be a part of, the projects that I want to be a part of. Cynthia talked about being drawn to this project, and listening to your intuition in that respect. Both in the way of this is something that I'm leaning towards, and in the respect of this is something that I should not do, and this is a team or a room or a project that I shouldn't be a part of. So listening to your intuition, and trusting yourself, trusting that you are enough. I know that sounds cliche, but it is so true. And allowing the flow to happen, and knowing that divine timing, as everyone has mentioned, this divine timing, that which is meant for you will come to you. Just allow it.
Yes, can I just say something really quickly too? Chanel, a no is not a no, it's just a not now. And in the meanwhile, while you're preparing for what's coming for you, what's being prepared for you, be ready for it, be prepared for it, so that when you do get there, you'll have the responsibility and you'll have the tools that you need to take care of it. Sometimes in our impatience, we get things, some people get things and they weren't ready for it. So what, like he said, Gracie said, what's supposed to be for you is for you and can't be denied, but you have to be ready to take really good care of it when it does get to you. I just have to say that, and stay in your lane, keep it one foot in front of the other, because it is coming for you and you have to manifest that. So good.
Thank you guys so much. That was amazing.
Yes.
Jules.
Hi guys. Wow, this is really emotional to be here talking to you all. I just wanted to let you know a little story and just thank you guys for everything you've done in my life. So I'm an artist. I work in an animation studio, but I've always loved theater. I've always loved singing. And back in 2016, I came out to my family. I'm actually transgender, and they very much rejected that, and it was a really difficult year. And especially after what happened in Orlando, that in June, was an extremely difficult year. And yeah, apologies, I'm getting kind of emotional because you guys really mean a lot to me. But seeing you perform at the Tonys in 2016 just gave me hope in a way when I was really despairing about my entire future, about my life, about the direction my life was going to go, and just seeing the ability your ability to go forward and continue performing, and continue bringing us hope and light in a time that was just so dark for my community and for the world and for people like me. I fell in love with the color purple after that, and I've just been absolutely enamored with all of your voices since then. Cynthia, I'm a huge fan of yours. But yeah, I wanted to ask you guys a bit about what that was like to perform that evening, and I mean, I'm sure it was difficult, but I've just always wondered what was that experience like for you to perform after such a tragic event, and to have to to bring people hope the way that you did.
I may have missed it. I'm not sure. Which tragic event are you talking about? Unfortunately, there's been so many.
Oh, that's okay. I'm just talking about the Orlando at Pulse.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Cynthia, do you want to take that, love?
Yeah. There's something about the color purple always felt restorative. So for me, on those evenings, it felt like people had come into the building with energy to give us, so we were able to give energy back. And to perform on that evening was an honor, because it felt like people were ready to fight in the best way, in order to combat such hate, had to fill the place with love. And that's what it felt like. We had, at the Color Purple, we had the honor of being able to perform so many momentous events throughout that year that it felt like that place was a place of refuge. So not just for the people that would come in, and for you all that would come in and sit with us and listen to us sing and tell our story, but for us who are on the stage, also finding a way to funnel our feelings through the characters that we got to play. So it was an honor to do it that night. Yeah.
Thanks, Cynthia. Melanie?
Hello. I'm so excited this is happening, and I just want to say thank you to all of you, and that you're all amazing and wonderful.
Hey, Melanie.
Hi there.
Hey.
Hey. I saw the
Melody. It's Melanie. Sorry, put a D on there, Melanie.
Okay. I saw the show a lot because it was amazing. I was actually hesitant to see it at first because the movie held such a special place in my heart. And then a friend of mine who I've known since I was 2, who actually took me to see my first musical when I was a kid, reconnected with me years later and invited me to see The Color Purple with her. So it was a reconnection play date. I saw The Color Purple, fell in love, waited a month, and then I saw it pretty much once a week. And anytime someone would come, I would say, let's go see The Color Purple. I felt compelled to share it with as many amazing people, especially women, as I could think to share it with, whether that be friends, coworkers, or literally talking to a random person on the subway. And the show just opened so many amazing doors. I've met, amazing people from stage to in the audience who I now consider friends, and I've never had an experience like that this keeps giving. And it also helped me unlock parts of myself and my love of theater that I kind of forgot, which has led me to doing things like producing and joining a board for a theater. And I just am so connected to this passion and this show, and I have so much gratitude. And then the one thing I also want to tell all of you is literally every person that I took to see that show has continued to tell me that it's one of the best experiences of their lives. So just know that you guys have a ripple effect that people still continue to talk about to this day. So thank you.
Thank you for supporting us.
Yeah, thank you, Melanie.
Of course.
This ain't Jeanette. That's Zuli.
Hey, Zuli.
Hey, Zuli.
I'm using Jeanette's cell phone. I don't have an iPhone. Well, Melanie kind of took the words out of my mouth. I wanted to first say thank you for doing this. This is I've been looking forward to this all week. When Carrie called me, I waited to hang up to start crying, and I've been telling everybody about it. And just to put it out there, I do not work for anyone on the cast. I just promote everything they do. And I actually went to see The Color Purple revival September 16 of 2016, so I kind of caught it at the end. And I saw it 4 times the week that it closed, and then on tour I saw it numerous times. But everyone that I could find to take to the show, I was like, you guys have to go see the show, because they wouldn't get it. And then we would sit and watch it, and they look at me and they're like, oh, I get it. And I'm like, I told you. It's so special. And I tell Antoine this all the time. The cat, you guys together are nothing that can be recreated, I think, on Broadway again. It's so, you can tell that there's love there between you guys on stage, and it's just so beautiful. And it's been an honor for me to see you guys in other productions and everything that you've been doing through the pandemic. And I'm just so grateful. I'm so thankful for you guys. And I know you guys can sing and act your butts off, but I wanted to know, is there a hidden talent or something that you're really good at that we would be surprised to know?
I mean, I love cooking. I cook all the time. In fact, I had Antoine and Angela over last night. We had a good time meal.
Blessed us. Yummy.
I guess it's an oddball thing that I do, but I'm a nail tech. I've been doing nails since I was 15.
Yes, and you can read words backwards.
I can write them and read them.
Yes, that's a talent.
I'm actually a candle maker, yes.
Yes, I know.
Tell us all about it,
Yes,
Jay. We would like to know more.
During the pandemic, I actually started a business called Wick Candle Co. You can find my my shop on Etsy or go to my Instagram page. And
I can attest the candles are absolutely delicious and they smell wonderful. I have many of them.
Ooh, yes, you do.
And they smell immediately. Like your house smells immediately.
I have
one pulling out the box, you can smell.
Go off. I have one actually named after the color purple.
It's my favorite.
It's honeysuckle jasmine. Yeah, it's one of the top selling ones. But yeah, so I'm a candle maker. Who knew?
Yeah, the candles are super duper good. I'm literally like, I have it burning in my nose right now. I'm not even kidding. It's right here. And you can smell them before they get out of the box. Everybody's not lying. You want to get the candles. It's spelled WYCK''D. Wicked Candle Company. He has an Etsy page, and I'm sure he has the link in his bio, either here or on Instagram, or both.
Yeah, on Instagram. Check it Instagram.
Thank you, Zuli. Dustin?
Hey guys, I just want to say thank you so much. I know just repeating what everyone's saying, but thank you so much for doing this. And I just kind of wanted to know, what is your favorite line of the show, or what do you feel is the most powerful line of the show? And again, thanks again for doing this, and just waiting for Carla to post her video on Instagram of In the
I
Room.
knew that was you, and I'm going to find it, and I'm going to post it. I never had a request for that, but I'm going to do it, Destin, I promise.
You better. Thank you.
I'll go ahead with that. Mine is that my most favorite line in the show is, God is inside me and everyone else. For me, that line, because I'm a socially distant person in real life, like I'm social, but I'm also distant, that connection between people is sometimes hard for me to develop. And with being in the color purple, these people won't let you be like that. You know what I mean? Like once I became a cast member, it was like we were all in each other's business and each other's stuff. So that line really connected me with myself in a way, and it also connected me with other people, especially this cast.
Love you, Jamaris.
I love that. That's my favorite line too.
Olivia?
Hello. Hi, I'm so excited. This is unbelievable because you all, for real, every single member of you, you all are my Broadway royalty. So to be in this room with you and get to say hello is just an honor in and of itself. So thank you for this opportunity. I'm so excited that you all are here together. I did see the show I think maybe 10 times. I'll never forget the last time I saw the show was not closing of the show, and I was weeping in the front row. Patrice looks at me. She's like, the look was, what is this girl? Is she okay? Because I was losing it in the opening number, and I'll never forget that. But all of you were so kind every step of the way, and I really appreciate that. I just want to give you all a shout out of thank you for being so down to earth and engaging with the fans and just loving us, and thank you for being my Broadway royalty. Thank you.
Thanks, Olivia.
Thanks, Olivia.
Fancy.
First of all, I just want to say I'm so glad you guys got my name right, because nobody's able to say my name. And I am just so excited that I'm able to sit in this room and just listen to you guys talk. And I'm shaking over here. I'm just so excited. I'd probably do some flips in my room if I could. But my question is for Cynthia. And of course, we know the song I'm Here is such a show-stopping song. And it breaks my heart every time. But after playing Celie and showing her live for 400 times, what does that song mean to you after Broadway, after The Color Purple?
I mean, the song, it's probably one of the most important songs that I've ever been able to sing in my life, and probably will remain that way. Just because it felt like an affirmation every time I got to sing it. You go through the shows, you go through the auditions, you go through rejection, you go through confidence,
moments when you don't feel confident, moments when you don't feel beautiful, moments when you feel small. And every time I was able to sing that song, it made me just a little bit stronger. And to know that that song also helps others feel strong, because I've had many messages come to me because of that song. It just means the world. It means that I get to be connected with everyone who's ever felt small, including myself. And that song is able to just pick us up just a little bit every time we hear it. So it's going to be one of the songs I won't ever waste. It's why I don't like singing it randomly in places. It's why I don't look at it as like a party trick. It's why it takes me a beat before I sing it anywhere, because I don't think of it as something fun to go and do. I think of it as a really special gift that is to be used wisely.
Wow, that's just amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, Fancy. Kristen?
Hey. Hi everyone. I'm going to try to be quick. So I wasn't going to share, but I felt like this was the only opportunity I would have to share this with the entire cast. How the color purple is the gift that keeps on giving to me. And I know you all have your own experiences, but many people don't know that I got my first job in New York because of the color purple. And even as a fan, the color purple kept giving to me through opportunities in my career, leading me to journalism and interviews on the carpet and traveling for press junkets and press trips. And I look back at my journey now being an editor at one of the largest media companies in the world, and it all started with being a fan of the show. And I remember interviewing Cynthia for her film Harriet, and I said to her, this is a full circle moment. And so I just had to take this time to thank you all because of, your gift, your inspiration, you allowing the spirit to use you. I look back and I just say, look what God has done. And I know you all personally know how the show keeps giving to you, but I felt like as a fan, I just needed to share that because I found something in myself that I didn't know was there, and a blessing I wasn't counting on, but now I can count. And I just want to thank you all for your gift. And my question was already said, so this is more of a request, and let me know if I'm doing too much, but I'm wondering, when we close out, could we just do one last amen from the reprise?
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you all.
Hey, Kristen, I want to say, can I say something? It's been wonderful to watch you grow and grow into the career that you have. To see you at the red carpet and have an interview like that was awesome. Absolutely awesome. So yeah, you also picked one of my favorite lines of the show to jump back to a question that was asked before. It's one of my favorite lines. Now my eyes are open, look what God has done. I have it tattooed on me. So yeah. You do? I do. You got all the tattoos. You're so cool. Thanks.
Cynthia's whole body is covered in tattoos. Y'all might
not know that is too much information for everybody. Lord. See, I didn't say all of that. Before we go to Dr. Lori.
But that body is banging up.
Oh my God. Oh my Lord. This is like being embarrassed by your entire family. I'm not That's what you get. That's what you get. Dr. Lori, before we get to Dr. Lori, I want to just go back to Jules, I believe it was talking about, performing when tragedy or big events or losses or something like that happens. And I know we all remember a lot about the bad things and, the sad moments, like when Prince died and we sang Purple Rain and that video went viral of us. That was, I think, if I'm correct, y'all, I think that was our first time singing at the end of a show, like something that was not a part of the Color Purple. And then it kind of became our thing. There's several videos that we've posted today. A lot of us doing our goodbye songs to our fellow castmates. We sang It's Hard to Say Goodbye to Danny and Isaiah. We did I Won't Complain.
We played That's It, thank you, for Heather Headley. And then on our last day all together, we did Total Praise. And those moments too, like I loved how the story carried through those special moments that we had, and got the people interested in seeing, well, who are these people in these clothes on this wooden stage, all these chairs singing Purple Rain. I mean, obviously they know who Jennifer Hudson is, maybe, but like, what are they doing? What is it? What's the big deal? You know, and I think those videos and moments made our audience grow and ultimately healed more people as well, which y'all think?
But Patrice, what really made the reason we did the Prince thing, like, I know that may seem random. Remember, we were with him just a month before almost a date at that private party at a secret location in the middle of the night.
Yep. Yep. And that's that. Ever since then, I've been like, I don't want to miss any more legends performing. I never got to see Whitney. I never got to see Michael. Prince was like the first person I ever got to see, and then he died a month later. So now every time there's a legend, which we ain't got that many left, you know, I try my best to get there to see it because it is so extremely special. And I'm so glad that we all got to go as a family to see him. Okay, Dr. Laura.
Wait, can I just say one of the lessons that I'm taking away, like as we reflect on all of these things, I just want to say that we were able to sing at the end of those tragic moments and times. It taught me that to not lose my song in the hard times. You know, we were still able to sing in our hurting places, and I just want us to remember to never let nothing allow us to lose our song, and because singing and worshiping and all those things kind of like lightens your heart. So never lose your song, even in the.
That's good, Carla. Thank you.
Hi everyone. Hi Ange.
Hey Lori.
Carla. I wanted to come up and say hello. Oh, my phone is messing up. I wanted to come up and say just how much I love this production. I love this music. I've seen it numerous times, and I've been able to see it on tour with Ange so many times. And I've also been able to, I've had the privilege to direct it at my university where I taught at. And I also have the honor of being a part of the team who's producing it here in Club. I get tired of that music, and I wanted to. I'm in awe of like the sheer athleticism of the music and the vocalism. So I wanted to ask, how did you grow as a singer through this production and through singing this music? How did it shape you as a singer?
Does anybody want to do this? Dwayne, you want this? We haven't heard from you all night long. Are you there? Caller?
I am. I couldn't figure out how to unmute. Hello. I would say that I can't speak for everyone, but I will say that I grew up in the church, and I think growing up in the church really allowed my voice to blend with everyone else's in this incredible cast. We would come in and, you know, I had done the very, very first workshop of the show, so I was kind of familiar with all the songs anyway. But growing up in the church, it really allowed me to be able to listen more and really blend well. And it's propelled me, you know, and I wrote a show, my wife and I wrote a show about Ray Charles, and it allowed me to have a bit more confidence that way as well. And yeah, you know, every show we get to do, we want to grow as artists and performers and as people. And yeah, so I hope I answered your question.
I think this show was, everybody came in with stellar voices, honestly. Everybody can sing. Everybody can sing, right? And I think where the growth happened was from the inside out. A lot of us spiritually, a lot of us emotionally, our lives truly changed. Not just because of what other opportunities and jobs we were offered from this, but really like growth as a woman for me, growth as a sister, growth as a daughter. That's where the biggest change, the music and the vocals, I think, grew because of that. So thank you, Dr. Lori. And then before we go on to Sean, I've been made aware that you are the person that's in charge of the Clubhouse musical, The Color Purple, which we're not connected to at all, but we've heard about it. And I hope, it is our hope that, you know, the people who are here tonight that also join in to hear your Clubhouse production will be healed and changed as much as we are, and that our audiences have been, because truly the music and the lines, the story is really the star of the show. So we implore you to take that love on with your production. You can go ahead.
Thank you. And also to want to shout out Joey Stone and Melinda Paris. They're both of our executive producers and artistic directors. So I just want to give a shout out to them. But I mainly came up on stage because my dad passed away on Monday.
Oh my God, so sorry to hear.
I'm so sorry.
And I just wanted to ask a question. I think it could probably happen. I just want some prayers, some upliftment. For me personally, I had a question, but the emotion just came over me. I literally went to bring the suit to the funeral home, and I just broke down. And so I just asked if someone can just pray for me, my family, and my strength to continue on. And I have a question. I just one question for Cynthia. Mm-hmm. When you sing "I'm Here," mm-hmm. How? I know it brought a lot of emotions and it brought a certain amount of joy. But when you got to that point of saying "I'm here," mm-hmm. how did you mentally, physically prepare yourself? Like, was there something that you did every time before you went on stage to sing, or when your cue was up to sing that song? What did you do that truly made you, really connect with the song?
The wonderful thing about the song is that the show gives you the preparation to be able to get to the point to sing it. Everything that Celie has to go through at that point, from the beginning, from the very first time you see her to the very last moment, but right before she sings the first notes of the song, that is all preparation. She's broken down, she has built up, then she's broken down again until the moment where she is pushed to find her own strength and her own grounding to be able to say, "I'm here." That's what I used to get to that point. There's no magic trick. You do the vocal prep before you start the show, and then the rest of the show will do it for you. Everyone is so invested, and everyone is pouring into you enough that I was able to be like moved along in the wave of the entire cast to get to a point where I was able to sing the song. Yeah. Hey, Sean, we are certainly sending you all of our love and light, all the prayers, good energy coming your way from everyone listening up here. I know that it is not, it is only by design that you felt implored to do this Color Purple the musical, because this show, for Clubhouse, because this show truly is healing, and I know that it's gonna bring you some comfort and some solace during this terrible time for you. But all of our love, let us know if we can support you in any way. For everyone else that I did not pull up, I'm so sorry, but the time is up. So please, if you have specific questions, just slide in these DMs. We're all on Instagram and everything. If you want to ask anything specific, we are, we communicate with the people. So holla at us. Thank you guys so much for doing this. We love y'all. We are fully, we've been texting on the side, and we are really moved by y'all's tears and your joy and the way your lives were changed and enhanced by our skit. So thank y'all so much, everybody.
Y'all, can we give a shout out for Patrice Covington?
Yeah.
She was a beautiful, wonderful, gracious host. Thank you, Patrice. I am in awe, baby girl.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank
Yes,
y'all
Patrice. Come on, you did
I
this.
love y'all.
How do we want to get into this?
I love you too.
Oh yes. Now how this gonna work out? Who gonna do it?
How about we start it from I don't think us feel old at all, and then we can go to the
How about that?
Okay.
Yeah.
And just feel it.
Yeah.
the right key?
I think this is the right key right here. I don't think.
Kevin, Kyle, Bree, unmute.
Ready? Is everyone ready?
Yeah. Yep, ready.
I don't think us feel old at all.
My.
Sing the song.
This is the youngest us ever felt.